Alright guys, hope everyone's doing well. It's been a while since I've posted anything on YouTube, so I thought I'd start posting again. So I'll just quickly do recap of my last two trades on ES. Gold is doing a bit of price, well, it has tanked now, but it was doing a bit of all-time highest price discovery, so I stopped trading it for a while. Kind of just waiting for it to settle down and come back inside familiar territory anyway. So yeah, we'll continue on ES. So kind of take you through. So first one was Wednesday, second trade was Thursday yesterday. So I'll just kind of take you through the basics. So as you can see, right, there's almost, so this was Wednesday, so you've almost got two balance areas. You've got kind of this section here, and coming into Wednesday there's a little bit of overlap, but it's mainly kind of this area here. So when I'm trading this, I have this as composite 1, composite 2. I don't really want to overlap these because there's no need. This can overlap here, here, and then this is almost its own separate zone. So essentially, we'll come to that later anyway. So yeah, let's get rid of this. Right, so there's kind of two ways you can do this. Obviously I have, this is just a 15-minute candlestick chart, by the way, with volume profile overlay. So I've got a fixed range, visible range, sorry, volume profile. So what I want to do is just, so bear me 1 second. So you can imagine this is Wednesday, so this is prior to the market open. Let me just check that, 9:15. Yeah, so right, so market's opening in about 50 at the next candle, right? So I kind of want to see, right, where are we before market open? So I want to use this to kind of try and highlight a good sort of range. I mean, this is still getting this in, so what I can just do is draw volume profile. I'll show you what the idea is anyway. Right, so this is before the market open. Right, so it's almost giving us the same thing, so I'm just going to go off this. Right, so essentially what I do is highlight these volume distributions, and how I trade these is I basically look for the edges of the distributions like this. Right, so here you've got there and there, somewhere like that. Now essentially what you look for is you look for these to act as areas of support and resistance, but essentially the logic behind it is very simple. So let's say, for example, you have a distribution like this, and if you're trading inside, firstly you want to see where his price come from previously. So let's say, for example, it comes from outside, then what you want to look for is look for a test of those extremes to come lower. If we kind of come lower but have been ranging, you then want to see if these edges will hold, and if buyers can obviously monitor order flow and see if buyers will push the market up. So you'd ideally want to see absorption here of sellers getting trapped, with essentially buy limit orders getting filled to go to the other side, and the same thing for the other way. So if you're coming in, you want to look to firstly see if we accept inside, then look for absorption on the retest, and then on the flip side, if we're coming from one distribution above, let's say there's one distribution here, and then we're coming to the next one, so we're trading here, we're coming down, you want to see, does that edge hold, and can we continue long? And the same thing for downside. So if we're coming from below and we hit that edge, you want to see, does that hold? So this is essentially what auction market theory is, or volume distribution theory. So always use order flow for your entries, don't just trade these blindly. I'll give you an example why. Sorry, let me just get rid of this. Whoops. Because sometimes, right, this is why we use VWAPs and stuff in Orderflow. Is, let's say for example, price is coming down from one distribution to the other, right? It now comes into this distribution. A lot of the times what could happen is you can get a little retest, break, and then further continuation. So it's kind of identifying how strong sellers are in this leg, how big the trap was here, was there much absorption, was there much strong buying, and that will kind of determine, and also if we can get some sort of a break of structure, that will determine whether it's likely we continue further down and test the extremes or not. So that's kind of the logic behind it. So I'll show you how it kind of played out in real life. Right, so here, market's opening. Now how you have to look at this, exactly how I said, right? Market, whoops, sorry. Sorry, wrong one. Oops, delete that. Right. So I kind of want to mark out this distribution. Now, what you essentially have to back this up with, right, is does it make sense logically from a swing high and swing low perspective? I'll show you what I mean by that. So this range, right, that I've highlighted, you can see here, resistance, break in, hold support, breakout, hold resistance, right, resistance again, come back inside, resistance, held a support, broke through, resistance again here, came out, broke up, retested higher, break back inside. Can you see how this is a key level here? Not only is it a distribution edge, but it's also, well, the distribution edge is supposed to be a resistance zone. That's why I was saying these act as support resistance zones. You can see here multiple touches of that area. So what I'm looking for is to identify either a break, a retest, and continue in this range, or break, retest, go lower. Now for us to break and retest and go lower, I have to see very strong selling with follow through, because that strong selling could essentially be buy limit orders getting filled. So I need to see it with follow through, because essentially we're stuck in a very strong range here. So to push us out of this range, it has to be strong selling, right? So market opens, and this happens, and I got long from here, but I'll just show you, I'll show you exactly how was I able to identify that. But that was the kind of idea. What you want to do is you don't want to kind of get long from here. You want to wait for an acceptance back inside this range. So you can see here, right, that we want to get that test. Obviously this is a 15-minute time frame, but if you look on a smaller time frame, there would have been a retest. There was a retest here, and we go higher. So let me just have a look at the Globex chart, just in case there was anything for me to go off there. So I'm just going to show you the RTH. Give me 1 second. Right, so I've got this to kind of copy that composite, right? So is this Wednesday? Right, so here I'd probably merge these 2 days. You've got a lot of balance overlap here. Probably wouldn't merge. Let me just see if you get a fair amount of balance here. Not on the cleanest bell curve, I'll be honest. But anyway, the most important thing is, right, if we look at the delta footprint, now this is quite important, and I do use this quite a lot. So essentially what I look for, right, is what happened previously in that range. So this is a split session anyway. So here you can see with the RTH from Tuesday, right, so there was no interest in selling this area, right? Buyers quickly took us back, and here you can see, look, we go in, but we're imbalanced, right? We open outside that balance range, trade down, quickly shoot back up, and then the market starts to range out, because that's what happens when price returns to an area of balance. It tends to balance. So here there was a strong buying in this. There was strong buying at this area. So I would ideally not like to sell against this unless this low gets taken. And what you can see is in the overnight session on Wednesday, that low got taken. So that for me is now confirming, okay, we're now accepting lower prices, and once we leave one distribution, where are we going to go to the next one? But anyway, we'll come on to that later. So I don't really want to be selling this. So here on the RTH, you can see, right, so we opened kind of inside that range. Let me remove the left move. So we opened kind of inside this range. So I'm looking to test these extremes and come back higher. So if we look at the daily VWAP, so we can kind of just get an idea on. Right, so you can see, let's just move this to as when it actually happened. So market opens here, right, roughly around here. So we get that sell off. Now ideally I'm looking at this level, this point I'm not too keen on short, so I want to see some kind of exhaustion and absorption at this area. And then what you can see is here, we just get really strong buying back inside this value area, right? So if I look on the footprint chart, first thing I'll do is look at the delta footprint. Let me just copy these drawing settings over, sorry. Right, so let's have a look. Right, so we push out here, lots of strong selling with follow through. Now this is what I like to see this, because here I've got a kind of stacked imbalance for the sell side, so the market pushes lower, and this stacked imbalance is in line with that distribution edge. So I want to see, can buyers clear this, right? And you can see here, look, on a smaller time frame we got a retest, and this is my entry signal here. Right, I'll show you exactly why. I don't really care what happens down here too much. I mean, I do keep an eye on it. So what I look for is these big deltas that are usually on ES over 100. I think on NASDAQ you're probably looking at around 40 to 50. So you've got these big deltas here, 143, 110, 118. Right, now this is a big one for me. 370, right? Huge delta, 861. So much larger than we've had previously here. Again, 200. Right, now as price starts going up, you can see here all these big deltas, they're not really been able to push down further. So it's highly likely that a lot of these, when you see these clustered in the same area with no follow through, could be buy limit orders that get triggered. Right here, massive sell transaction that happened here, 475. Follow through came straight back in, bounced, then on the bounce back here again 200, 716 delta, very high again, no follow through, ripped it straight back up. Now as we came through here, high delta, buying just continuing, and this was my entry signal. On the pullback we had large delta at these lows with some imbalances, negative delta. Market couldn't follow through with these 84 and 63 sell orders, right? Couldn't follow through. Followed through here with strong buying, so this was kind of like my entry signal, and then we went all the way to the other side. So that was Wednesday. Now let me show you Thursday. Right, spare me 1 second. So Thursday I took a quick stop out, which was quite annoying actually, because it was a clean trade, but it is what it is. So let's have a look now. So sorry, bear with me 1 second. right? So this is all played out. So now, as I said, right, this is what I look for. So this is Thursday, so let me just play this out. So right, so we had the market open was around this area here, right? So just gonna, right, so as we coming down here, as I said previously, right, so let me just show you the trade execution on that trade for Wednesday. So here you can see it's in my NinjaTrader account, so the entry was there, so I let that sell off happen, broke the imbalance on that. You see where I got in bright on that retest, boom, and then closed it here. I'll just show you the execution for Thursday. This is where I took a small loss and then I got a big 17-point win. Right, so here entered short, market came against me, I closed it, then I re-entered again, and closed it all the way down there. So anyway, I'll just show you this one now. So like I said, I wouldn't, coming into that session, I wouldn't want to sell against this until these lows got taken, because there was strong buying here. Overnight session took out these lows, so now we've left this one distribution, left this one. So now I'm thinking, right, overnight's taken out the most recent low, and it's haven't really got too much of a strong pullback coming into the RTH open, which is the next candle. So now I'm looking to see where are we on a bigger time frame in terms of distribution. So what I'm just going to do is try and find the nearest balanced range. So here, right, oops, is where we've kind of got our next biggest balanced range. So what I would just look to do is, I'm looking at this area here, right? So if we go to the current time, so I'm just going to extend this. Right, so looking at the delta, right, you can see, so overnight, following that session, right, as I said, I didn't want to sell against this until we took out that low. Now after we took out that low, there's just been nothing but pure selling into this previous composite. Now this is the overnight session, Globex, whatever you want to call it. Now here, there's not really, so Globex closed down here, so we had that retest, we tested that edge of that distribution, we had a rejection. Now like I said, two things are going to happen in this scenario, right? You either break, retest and come higher, or you break inside and you look to short here all the way down, right? I don't hold it for that long, but yeah, you can do. And today was a good example that you could have held it all the way down to, and look how where we got that rejection from. See, this is it's nothing magic, it's just pure auction market theory, right? Look, I just go back, find that, find where it makes logical sense, right? And remember, I was talking about support and resistance levels. So here you can see multiple levels where this held support, 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 support. I could obviously drag this down a little bit there, right? But then here, this is the most important thing: resistance, 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 breakthrough. When it breaks here, holds a support, support. So that's kind of my level, right? And you can see here, we pretty much come all the way towards the lower, and I do think we are going to continue lower that anyway. So what we can see here, there's been pure selling, right? And then before the market opened, we had a retest, right? And the manner in which this has kind of sold back into this, if you can see here, we had a lot of overlap, a lot of building, right? Little bit amount of volume, right? Some people consider this people taking profits. However, when we came back up into this, you can see this little gap here, this low volume gap. We aggressively came down with not much overlap, not much balance. So once I saw this aggression pre-market, it kind of told me that come the market open, it's going to continue to sell off. One thing I would wait for is see if these lows held, if there would be any absorption or trap sellers at these lows, because if there's trap sellers at these lows and the market swings up, then I'm going to look for a break retest to go higher. But I was about 95% confident on shorts. I'll just show you the VWAP. Let me show you the TPO. I don't think there was anything on the RTH TPO, but I'll just show you anyway. So we had that big balance range. I mean, you could, you can. Some people kind of see this as prices going nowhere, so they might have merged this. I didn't do it, if I'm honest. I don't really. Some people use the RTH quite religiously. I'm not overly fussed of it, if I'm honest. So it's a decent sized composite, but this is why these areas don't hold any weight to me, because there's so much volume that's happened outside. I look at the edges of the distribution rather than value areas. Like, I mean, in this profile, for example, right, I'll just show you why. These areas don't really hold too much weight to me. I'm looking for the edges of these composite balance areas. You see where this rejected, right, was at the edge of this kind of balanced bell curve. That's what I'm looking for here. So this value area would hold some sort of weight to me because it's at the edge of this distribution, right? This value area doesn't hold any weight to me because it's not the edge of a distribution. This one, yeah, maybe a little bit. So I can't really, I mean, yeah, okay, I'd say this area is the edge of a distribution. So yeah, I'm going to see if this area will hold, but I'm 90% sure it's not going to, because we rejected from that low volume gap. So this is where some imbalances will be sitting, probably some stacked. Huge push downwards, very strong movement, so I'm looking to continue. So let's have a look at the VWAP. Right, so perfect here. This is beautiful. So market opened, had that sell off. I kind of just entered in here as we broke through daily value, kind of entered down here actually a little bit late. Now you can see here delta is, as price now starts going, delta starts following price. So I'm just looking to continue ride that wave. Kind of entered there, got stopped out, and you can see how this just retested it perfectly to the pip, right? Obviously this doesn't happen every time, but sometimes it does. I was thinking maybe as we broke through daily value, I was thinking, yeah, we might come up and test VWAP. And if I did enter here, my stop would have been kind of somewhere above VWAP, because I was thinking we might come up and test that. So anyway, huge just sell pre-market closes. There's no real imbalance to the buy side. So yeah, I'm just looking to continue short. And then on the footprint, I'll show you what I noticed. So yeah, as I got stopped out early, and then this is what I noticed, some absorption here of buyers. Here you can see that 599, no follow through. Sellers then came in, and then we had these large delta, with some imbalances, large sell side deltas after, and then some more absorption at the top there. There you can see 102 with a nice finish auction there, no follow through. Close below each of these bars point of controls, so I kind of entered again from around here, and then rode it all the way down for about, I held it for about 17 points because price action on the candlestick chart was quite aggressive. So you can see here as I entered again, we just kind of kept on flowing. I trailed my stop, and as soon as we had that push up there, I just closed. My close was right there. So that's essentially it. Very, very simple. You just have to use delta, and you're mainly using delta to understand the sentiments, and then using the composites to kind of use your kind of levels of trade-off. So hopefully that makes sense. And I'll see you guys later with some more recaps. Take care.